and they specialize in messaging security. And he's here to share the latest scams, text messages scams, um, spam that people are getting, and how people can defend themselves from this. Can you tell us more about how some of this is driven by the economy? Like, what are the models that these people are using?
Sure. So the bad guys are businessmen too. Generally pretty good business people. They run on pretty tight margins normally. So they're looking to make the maximum amount of money for the minimum amount of investment. So typically we find that this kind of scams and spam that they're sending is reflecting sort of generally macroeconomic circumstances as well. So you'll find that during the recession, for example, a lot of the scams were around short-term loans, e-cash now, these kind of things. And then as the US economy this year started to come out of recession, we saw that those kind of started to drop down. And we started to see a lot more what we call survey scams, where they're trying to get your personal information. As the buying power of people starts to go up, they want to start to get your personal information to extract value from that personal information. So I would say probably the biggest thing now is selling on your personal data to third parties, which can have, we can talk about this in a minute, but it has a lot of unintended consequences. Potentially years down the road, your personal information can have a lot of negative consequences if the wrong people, unscrupulous people, have got access to that information. Mm-hmm. And those people can make a lot of money from that information.
Mm-hmm. And let's talk about that, because there's been a lot of misconceptions about who might be trying to send you spam or get information in a way that you don't even recognize it. The FTC has been cracking down on legitimate companies that are working with third-party affiliates, people that market. Can you talk more about that?
Sure. So we see a lot of the scams are driven through affiliate marketing networks, and we generally see two types of issues there. We see a lot of unsolicited messaging, so this is generally stuff that would fall foul of the CAN-SPAM Act. So the act of sending it is not necessarily legal, but let's say it was something like an e-cash now scam, then that actually might set you up with legitimate people that are going to give you loans at pretty high rates of interest, but they are legitimate people. But the reason that they're sending this is so that they can get affiliate referral fees from these sort of what we call ping trees, affiliate networks, selling the fact that you need money to the highest bidder. So they're acting as a sort of middleman between you and the affiliate networks. So they're making money from that. As soon as you sign up to any one of these things, as soon as you reply to any one of them, then effectively your name, your number, any personal data that they collect from you, whether you applied for the loan, whether you took the loan, all of that information is then stored and then used to send you further unsolicited marketing information in the future. So that's one way of doing it. The second way is what we call grey hat scams. So these are fraudulent scams. They're trying to extract money from you in a fraudulent way, typically by what we call a bait and switch style method. They'll offer you something, too good to be true generally, free gifts, so free iPads, free iPhones. You can test the new iPhone 5 before the iPhone 5 was even announced, these kind of things. We see a lot of stuff just at the moment with Black Friday and Cyber Monday, offering televisions and these kind of things. And so what's happening with those kind of scams is that they draw you in with the bait for a free gift, and then you click on the URL, you go to the website, and they say, well, before we give you this free gift, we want you just to fill in the survey, just a few questions, nothing to worry about. Of course, that survey, when you're filling that in, they're asking you some very personal questions, which is the real value to them. Okay, so it's fraudulent because they've got no intention of giving you a free iPhone or television. What they want is that personal data that you're filling in. They might ask you whether you've ever been refused health insurance, whether you smoke, do you read, what's your annual income, these kind of things. Are you employed, unemployed, etc. And then that data, again, this is sold on through affiliate networks. So the affiliate networks are paying top dollar for that personal information, and then they're using that then to target further marketing towards you and selling that on in the same way as the first kind of scam I talked about. So personal information here is the real commodity that they're interested in, and there's a huge affiliate networks which are taking that personal data, using it to channel more unsolicited marketing at you. And of course, with the chance of a free iPhone might sound too good to be true, usually is. But even if you think, well, it can't hurt, but that's probably not true. It might be that someday you refuse medical insurance, or you can't get a mortgage in your house because of the information that you've revealed in that survey, multiple surveys. The information has been sold on to someone unscrupulous. So those are quite dangerous kind of scams.
So let's talk about who's falling victim to it, because people might be surprised or not. It seems in that 18 to 35 age range, people are clicking the links that they shouldn't click, and sometimes even picking the phone up, and calling these people. What does that mean? Is it saying something about them interacting more on these mobile devices, or do they have a false sense of security?
Yes, well, we definitely see older people are less likely to fall prey to these, and I think there's a few things going on here. I think younger people are using their mobile devices a lot more, so that they're generally more likely to be looking at these things. They're not afraid of this new technology as some of the older people are, but generally they've just been immersed in the internet, in computing, in mobile computing particularly from a very early age. They seem to be less concerned around issues of security and personal information as well. So I think that's probably the two reasons why they're more likely to fall prey to these things. An older person typically will look with suspicion on things a lot more than a younger person in that respect. So maybe a slight amount of naivety, but certainly I think it's just familiarity, and perhaps familiarity breeds contempt in this.
And can you talk a bit about how many more users than we would think aren't aware of what they should do once they do get the spam? Once it makes it to them, what now?
Sure. Well, we did a survey recently, and we found that around 3/4 of people had actually received text-based spam on their mobile phones. But of those, around 70% thought that they should have a way to report that to the operator, to have some way to stop the spam being sent to them in the future. But only around 30% knew that there even was a way to report that. So there's a big disconnect. People want a way to report it. Most people don't know how to report that stuff. So there is a way to report that. There's something called the Spam Reporting Service. It's run by all the US operators, and it's often just known by the shortcode that you can forward messages to. If you forward a spam or a scam message from your phone to the shortcode 7726, that actually spells spam in the old style telephone keypad. If you forward that message to 7726, doesn't matter what network you're on, if it works on all the networks, then the operators will take that data. That service is actually powered by Cloudmark. They'll take that data, and we analyse it for them, and they use it then to try and stop the spammers in future. They can potentially shut numbers down, they can do further investigations. There have been some lawsuits against spammers initiated based on the data from this service. So the more people report, the more we can take action, and the operators can take action against the bad guys, the people who are sending this stuff. We've talked a lot about grey hat sort of survey scams, those kind of things. There's obviously more malicious stuff out there. People can lose serious amounts of money through phishing attacks, for example. We see a lot of examples recently with phishing. Phishing has increased 900% or so in the second half of this year.
And with that, thank you for joining us today. Again, we're here with Neil Cook, Cloudmark. We'll see you guys next time.